Good morning, pupils. Welcome to Valenzuela Live in Mathematics for Grade 5. I am Mr. Ryan G. Feliciano of Andres Fernando Elementary School, and I will be your FB Live teacher for today. Before we proceed with our lesson, I want you to do the following so that your teacher will recognize your attendance and participation. First, type in your complete name, grade and section, subject teacher, and your school in the comment box. Second, if you want to answer during our discussion, simply type in your answer in the comment box. And third, if you have questions regarding our lesson, just type in your questions before the session ends. We are now in our Quarter 2, Week 4 of our most essential learning competencies. In this session, you will be able to learn the following. For letter A, multiply decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1 to 2 digit whole numbers. And letter B, multiply decimals with factors up to 2 decimal places. Now, let's begin with our activity 1. For our direction, find the product and choose your answer from the given choices. You may write your answer in the comment section or on your scratch paper. You are given only 5 seconds to answer each given number. Let's start with first given, 5 times 8. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Did you find the product? Okay, very good. The answer is 40. For the next given, 12 times 4. Your 5 seconds starts now. Time's up. Let's see your answers. If your answer is 48, you've got it right. For the third given, 36 times 2. Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, time's up. If your product is 72, your answer is correct. And for the last given, 50 times 3. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What is your answer? Okay, the answer is 150. So now that you already know how to multiply whole numbers, multiplying decimals will be easier for you to solve. Let us now proceed with our POTD or problem of the day number 1. I want you to read and analyze the problem. Dan is a member of the school track and field team. He ran 3 21/100 miles every day for 23 days as his practice. How many miles did he run during the period? First, let's identify what is asked in the problem. And that is the total number of miles he ran during that period. Then, for the given facts, those are 3 21/100 miles and 23 days. Now, for us to solve the problem, let us follow the steps in multiplying decimals by whole numbers. For the first step, multiply as whole numbers. So we just have to ignore the decimal point first. So let's begin. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 3 is 9. Next, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 3 is 6. Then, let's add the partial product. 3, 6 plus 2 is 8, 9 plus 4 is 13. Bring down 3 and regroup 1. And 1 plus 6 is 7. Now for our second step, count the number of decimal places in the factors. For our first factor, we have 2 decimal places. And for our second factor, we have 0 decimal place. For our step 3, place the decimal point in the product as many as the total number of decimal places in the factors. Okay, take note of this, class, that we always move decimal point from the right to left according to the number of decimal places in the factor. So in this case, we have a total of 2 decimal places in the factors. So let's move twice from right to left. 1 and 2 and put decimal point. So therefore, the answer is 73 and 83 hundredths miles. Now, for multiplying decimals with factors up to 2 decimal places, let's proceed with our second POTD or problem of the day. The locker room of the players has a length of 4 and 32 hundredths meters and a width of 3 and 5 tenths meters. What is the area of the room? Now, let's identify what is asked in the problem. That is the area of the room or the total area of the room. And for the given facts, we have 4 and 32 hundredths meters and 3 and 5 tenths meters. Now, to solve the problem, we follow the steps in multiplying decimals with factors up to 2 decimal places. And again, for our first step, multiply as whole numbers. So let's begin multiplying. 5 times 2 is 10. Bring down 0 and regroup 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1, 16. Bring down 6 and regroup 1. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. Next, 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 4 is 12. Then, let's add the partial product. Bring down 0. And 6 plus 6 is 12. Bring down 2 and regroup 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 1, 11. Bring down 1 and regroup 1. And 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. And bring down 1. For our second step, count the number of decimal places in the factors. And again, in our first factor, we have 2 decimal place. And for our second factor, we have 1 decimal place. For our step 3, place the decimal point in the product as many as the total number of decimal places in the factors. And again, we should take note that we always move the decimal point from right to left. Okay, so in this case, we have a total of 3 decimal places or 3 decimal places. So let's move from right to left thrice. 1, 2, and 3, and put decimal point. So therefore, the answer is 15 and 12 hundredths square meters. Now, it's time for our practice grade 5 pupils. So, let's multiply 14 hundreds by 22. So, let's begin with the steps. First, multiply as whole numbers. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 0 is 0. Next, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 0 is 0. Then, let's add the partial product. So, bring down 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. Bring down 0 and regroup 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. And then 0. For our second step, let's count the number of decimal places in the factors. So we have 2 decimal places in the first factor and 0 decimal place in the second factor. For our step 3, place the decimal point in the product as many as the total number of decimal places in the factors. So we have here a total of 2 decimal places. So let's begin counting from right to left. 1 and 2 and decimal point. You will notice that we have 0 on the left side of the whole number 3. Since it has no value, we can now delete that 0. So the answer is 3 and 8 hundredths. Next problem or next given. Multiply 8 hundredths by 4 tenths. So let's begin. Multiply as whole numbers. So let's multiply 4 and 8. It is equals to 32. Next, for our second step, count the numbers of decimal places in the factors. So we have here, in the first factor, we have 2 decimal places. On the second factor, we have 1 decimal place. Now, for our step 3, place the decimal point in the product as many as the total number of decimal places in the factors. So we have a total of 3 decimal places. Now, in this case, the total number of decimal places in the factors is not equal to the digits in the product. So, the proper way to find the answer is to add 0 on the left side of the factor as its place value holder. So, let's begin. 1, 2, and another 1, and put 0. Then, the answer is 32 thousandths. Next given. Multiply 24 and 5 tenths by 45 hundredths. So again, let's multiply as whole number for our step 1. 5 times 5 is 25. Bring down 5 and regroup 2. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 2 is 22. Regroup 2 and bring down 2. And then 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Next, 4 times 5 is 20. Bring down 0 and regroup 2. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. Bring down 8 and regroup 1. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1, it is 9. Then, let's add the partial product. Bring down 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. Bring down 0 and regroup 1. And then, 1 plus 9 is 10. and plus 1 is 11. For our second step, count the number of decimal places in the factors. So let's count. For the first factor, we have 1 decimal place. For the second factor, we have 2 decimal places. And for our step 3, place the decimal point in the product as many as the total number of the decimal places in the factors. So in this case, we have a total of 3 decimal places. So we will move thrice to the left. 1, 2, and 3, and add decimal point. So the answer is 11 and 25 thousandths. Now, for our activity number 2, find the product and type in your answer in the comment section. You are given only 10 seconds to solve each given number. Number 1, multiply 7 and 5 tenths by 7. Your 10 seconds starts now. Okay, time's up. The answer is, okay, 52 and 5 tenths. Next, multiply 3 and 6 tenths by 23. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's check your answer. Okay, the product is 82 and 8 tenths. Very good, grade 5. Now, for our activity 3, read and solve the problem. Type in your answer in the comment section. You have 30 seconds to solve the given problem. First, what is the product of 3 and 22 hundredths and 1 and 3 tenths? Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. And the answer is 4 and 186 thousandths. Good job, grade 5. For the second given or second problem, what is the product when 6 and 4 tenths multiply to 1 and 23 hundredths? Your 30 seconds starts now. Okay, time's up. For our product, we have 7 and 872 thousandths. And for the third problem, what is the product of 7 and 35 hundredths and 3 and 6 and 3 tenths? Your 30 seconds starts now. Okay, time's up. The answer is 46 and 305 thousandths. Now, let us summarize the lesson we discussed in multiplying decimals. To multiply decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1 to 2 digit whole numbers and with factors up to 2 decimal places, we follow these steps. First, multiply as whole numbers. Second step, count the numbers of decimal places in the factors. And finally, place the decimal point in the product as many as the total number of decimal places in the factors. Now, this time is for our question and answer portion. If you have questions, just type it in the comment box. Okay, for our question from Antonio M. Serapio Elementary School, Sir, how can I solve multiplication of decimals easier and faster? Okay, so the answer is you have to memorize first the multiplication facts or multiplication table for you to solve it easier and faster. Now, since we don't have any questions, let me remind you for your assignment. Answer the activities on pages 13 to 15 of your self-learning module. Then, your subject teacher will have a follow-up discussion regarding our topic and will check your activities. That's all for today, dear grade 5 pupils. Thank you for watching and participating for this day. Once again, I am Sir Ryan Feliciano of Andres Fernando Elementary School saying, stay safe and have a nice day.